All right, is your guitar playing stuck in a rut or are you hitting plateaus? Like my neighbor Bruce, he's a beginning guitar player and he's always focusing on the wrong thing. So I sent him in the right direction, which is what I'm gonna do for you. We're gonna keep learning about triads. 3-note chords, they're gonna skyrocket your playing. I played for 35 years and if I could go back and teach myself on the first day, I would show myself triads, all right? So let's have some fun. Grab the ebook link below. This is gonna be a whole video series, you're gonna dig it. And then I just want to hear from you, drop comments, so let's get going. Okay, so here is the first chart. It's linked in an ebook below. There's only 2 pages in the ebook. They're pretty much identical. There's one tiny change, I'll get into it. Now, we need to understand the language of music. These are called root 3-5 or 1-3-5 triads. So the first thing we want to look at is you see that bounding box on the far left, and it's got a red rectangle, or I like to call it the Eddie box because my friend Eddie told me I should do that for you guys. It's around the strings DGB. So if you hear me say, we're gonna focus on a 1-3-5 triad or a root 3-5 triad on the DGB string set, you need to know I'm just referring to the DGB open strings as a reference point. Okay, above that on the top left, you see some additional information. 1-3-5 triad on the ADG string set. Below that it says the R or root note is the same thing as the 1. So if I just flip this chart out real quick, this is the second page, you just see the only thing that changed is the R, the root, is the exact same thing as the 1. And I'm only putting this on here because in all my years of experience, and I've even seen it on this channel, people get confused, they don't understand. The root right here, the 1, that's the same thing, okay? And this is the triad we're gonna play. Now below that, to just take it a bit deeper, okay, because some of you guys want to dig into this, and we're going to keep hitting this. A triad is made up, like where does it come from? Where? The who, what, where, when, why, how. Where does a triad come from? Comes from the major scale. So you take the first, third, and fifth note, and that's how you make a major triad. Okay, just put that in your brain. You'll light bulb moment, you'll click it, you'll connect it if you haven't already. And a 1-3-5 triad is made by stacking what we call intervals, all right? So it's a major third interval followed by a minor third. So I actually added, I thought it'd be great, in the bottom right, let's look at this. You see that R, root to the 3, this right here is a major third interval. And this is important because sometimes you're gonna break the triads down even further. So you see how we keep hitting this at multiple angles, okay? And then the 3 to the 5, that is a minor third interval. So this one, happy interval, root to the 3, or the 1 to the 3. Remember that means root and 1 mean the same thing. Major interval, major third, and then 3 to 5, minor third interval, okay? Now, let's get into what this is about. The triad. This is a root 3-5, okay? Root 3-5, and there's 4 major root 3-5 or 1-3-5 triads. We're gonna move through all 4. We did the first 2 last week. We did this one, we did this one, and now we're doing this one. And it's on what string set? Just look to the left, the DGB string set. This is a 1-3-5. Now, this one I love because it's inside of, and it's not on this chart, but it's inside of a bar chord, okay? Now, of course, you don't see any note names on there, right? Now we have to be playing notes because that's what music is. In this case, we're playing a C major triad. It's the 1-3-5, C, E, G. So this is another great way for you to learn the fretboard is C, E, G. But the reason I wanted to put it like this is if you see those red arrows, and this is where it becomes super powerful, okay? You can move it to any key. As long as you know where that root is in whatever triad you're playing, okay, you can move it along the fretboard to a different key. So right here, our root is on what string? You can look over at that Eddie box. We're on the D string, so our root's here. It's nice and clean. 1-3-5, root 3-5, C, E, G. So if I moved it, let's say we moved it down here. Let's say we move it down where my ring finger is on the 7th fret on the D string still, because we're not moving string sets. Now I'm playing an A major triad, A, C sharp, E. But again, we're focusing on where that root is. That's why I put it in red. If you want to know why I put the color, I really want you to know. You can move up. If I moved it up here, you know, you can move it just, if you focus on where the root is, you can figure out the key that you're in. That's why these are so powerful. Now again, I told you it's inside of the bar chord. So if I were playing, like, let's say, this is not on the chart, but this is a C major bar chord, okay? We go from that to the triad. You could go back and forth, and I've done that a lot on this channel. Those of you that have been here have seen me do that. If you're new here, I do that all the time. So one thing you can do is just take your rhythm hand out of it. This is the train that drives it all. Rhythm is king. So you can go from the bar chord to that triad. Just get used to this movement, okay? This is a great way just to kind of land the triad. Or if you don't want to throw the bar chord in there, just kind of put your hand down so you can go straight to that triad shape. It's all muscle memory, okay? Think back to when you're like a little kid and you're learning to ride a bike. Very few of us just got on the bike and rode it the first time. It's just all repetition. Repetition leads to great rhythm, which leads to great guitar playing. So one thing you could do playing exercise-wise, go like this. See, bar chord, triad, bar chord, triad, bar chord, triad. And we're keeping this super stripped down and super lean because we're just focusing on this one triad. Now I'm gonna tell you, I want you to pay attention to some of your favorite artists, music you listen to. If you ever catch any of them, like let's say on a YouTube or in some kind of video, see if you notice this shape. You're gonna see this diagonal shape a ton. You know, some of my favorite guitar players use this shape. I can think of John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jimi Hendrix. It's such a great shape. And it's in the middle of the string sets, meaning it's right here in the middle, so you can get really percussive with it. Like, okay, 1, 3, 5 triad. There's 4 1, 3, 5 triads on 4 different string sets. And just to kind of rehash one more time, I want you to watch the video linked to this playlist. I'm going to build out all 12 major, all 12 minor. I'm going to make the charts, and then just trust me on this. When we're done with all of them and you start using them, you're going to use them in every style of playing. You're going to use them every day, and you're going to love them, okay? Just another great thing to have in your toolkit, okay? So right here, bar chord to the triad. Now you can also arpeggiate it, which means break it down. Try some picking stuff. Just get that. You really want to do, every time you play a guitar or any instrument, you really want to, it's all about your ear, right? A lot of you guys ask me questions all the time. Should I do this? Should I do that? And really my answer to everything like that is, I'll try and answer it on a music theory level, but if it sounds good, it's good, okay? If you can make it sound good and fit into whatever your musical statement is, then that's a good thing, okay? But I love triads because you could do so many things with them. They're a stripped down version, okay, of a chord, 3 notes. They're just beautiful sound. When you start advancing, you can do little hammer-ons and pull-offs. So there's so many things you can do with it. Try and get that bar chord to the triad. Also, try and balance out your playing skill set by getting rid of the pick, okay? Even if you're not a finger picker, just trust me on this. This is super cool, so you can get that bar chord to this triad. This triad, the reason I'm showing you the bar chord on this one is it's the perfect time to do the bar chord to the triad, okay? Now, this is not easy. I'm wrapping my thumb over. I'm muting these 2 strings when I'm playing the triad, so just want you to be aware of that. A lot of people get confused and they see my thumb up here and they think I'm not playing I'm not playing that note in there, I'm just muting, because I'm just emphasizing the triad. And now, Bruce tells me too, he loves how stripped down and nice it is. He's having a much easier time. He's having a hard time with bar chords, so I just tell him, focus on that triad, okay? All right, one last thing I want to show you, because Bruce asked, he said, well, how can I practice this if I only have this one triad? Now, we have the 2 I taught you from last week, which I'll link at the end. I said, take a C open chord. And then when I did that, I was like, that's where you're stuck, huh? I said, you're stuck on the open chords. You can't get out of that. He's like, yep, stuck on all those. I said, well, now you go from the C open chord to that C 1, 3, 5 triad. Root 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. And you might as well, when you get there, say the notes. I know they're not on the chart, okay, but it's C, E, G, C, E, G. The most important part of the chart is knowing where that root is, because we want to be able to move these to whatever key we're playing in. So I said, play C, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I said, do it real slow like that, because rhythm is king, rhythm is queen, and that's how you're going to build an internal meter, an internal rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I said, and then eventually you can progress to like this. Do like. Because eventually you're going to start adding little notes, little spices, little hammer-ons, little pull-offs. No. Pick it. And he tells me every day when I see him, thanks for showing me those triads. All right, so go back, watch these triads, C135 on the EAD string set, and then you have CEG 135 on the ADG string set. And today you learned on the DGB string set, okay, 135, and then next week, in a couple days, we're gonna do it here, 135, and they're all C's. Look, C, 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 triads. And trust me, you're gonna see all your favorite artists, you're gonna start seeing how they use these, and I just want you to be aware of it. All right, hopefully that helps. Hopefully I'm going slow enough. I know a lot of you wanted me to break these down. I'm still gonna do those crazy videos that are deep, but I really wanna break these down slower, smaller chunks. So let me know how I did. You guys know what button to hit. You know what to do if you're new. We'd love to keep you. Team Jellyfish for the win. We've got a membership on here. Check out the link to the newsletter, which I'll pin in the comments. Grab the ebook, okay? I'm gonna do all 12. We've done 3. We've got 9 more major triads. And then we've got the 12 minor. And then when we have all 24 of those, that's gonna be a great foundation. Drop Jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Don't stop, only you can stop you. You're gonna keep going. I will see you in the next triad video or whatever video I put out. Peace.